Do you guys see this coffee? That thing is smoking. Now, Tesla's stock at the time of recording this video is down about 1%. We are not smoking for Tesla shares. What's going on today? Why is Tesla down? We need to talk. But honestly, all things considered, it's really just not a bad day for Tesla. Tesla had such a strong day on Tuesday that you're getting a little bit of consolidation. Good news is I expect that we will have some positivity here over the next 48 hours. And into January, I think things are going to get really explosive for Tesla, especially if we do have a really good delivery number, in which that's what I'm expecting. And Elon Musk seems to be pretty confident in his business ventures, one of which, the biggest of which, being Tesla. And he's basically confirming that he'll be a multi-trillionaire one day. That would mean Tesla stock needs to at least 4x from here. And if Elon Musk is a multi-trillionaire, then you guys are probably multi-millionaires, depending how much Tesla you own. One of the big things that is kind of happening today that is on the negative side for markets is 10-year treasury yields. 10-year treasury yields are up over 4 basis points today, following better than expected economic data. And it's U.S. holiday retail sales, okay? Let me tell you, this is a good problem to have. This is good for markets. Even though it's maybe negative for 10-year treasury yields today, you want to see good data. So MasterCard says total U.S. retail sales grew 3.8% this holiday season. Online remained the choice for consumers, increasing 6.7% year over year. And this was data from November 1st through December 24th. The estimate for overall retail sales was 3.2%. So you came in at 3.8%. That's a lot better than the estimate. Online came in at 6.7% versus estimates of 6.3%. And even restaurant sales came in positive 6.3% year over year. And you could see a bigger breakdown here. In-store was up 2.9%, excluding auto. Apparel was up 3.6%. Apparel online was up 6.7%. Apparel in-store up 0.2%, electronics up 3.7%, jewelry up 4%, department stores up 1.6%, and again, restaurants up 6.3%. This is really good data. I mean, clearly it's really good data. 10-year treasury yields are up 4 basis points, suggesting that the Fed's not going to need to cut rates as much next year. But then again, how much the Fed actually cuts rates has little to do with the economy and more to do with what inflation does. If inflation comes down more than expected next year, we're going to get more Fed rate cuts. And more Fed rate cuts should be a positive for Tesla stock, despite the 100 basis points of easing we have seen from the Fed so far, and the 100 basis points that 10-year treasury yields have risen since then. That doesn't normally happen. With that said, let's get into some of your Tesla stock news today, what the options look like, and the short positioning. So far on the day today, you have about 230,000 shares that are being covered on. This is a net number. So you have return shares of 657,000, aka covered shares, and borrowed shares, aka shorting the stock, of 428,000. So that means on net today, 230,000 shares are actually being covered on. Okay. I expect throughout the day today, into after hours, into pre-market tomorrow, and throughout the trading day tomorrow, you will see more shorts covering on short position. But in reality, we also have next Monday and next Tuesday of calendar year 2024, and I think it's going to be a very positive period throughout the rest of 2024, including Monday and Tuesday of next week. Because again, if you're going to take a tax loss harvest, on our markets to reduce your capital gains allocations for your clients, I think there's no better way to do that than covering on your short position in Tesla. You get to tactically take the tax loss harvest and not be short in Tesla for 2025. Because when I sit here and just think about things, like, who is actually bearish on Tesla next year? I don't think anyone's bearish on Tesla next year. Okay. Now, obviously, there are some people, there's some retail investors that want Tesla to fall. There's like a Gordon Johnson, right, that will always be bearish on Tesla. But I mean, logically speaking, some people might think there's too much enthusiasm. There's too much hype right now. But I don't think anyone's really bagging on robo taxis to fail next year. I don't think there's anyone really, betting that we're not going to get lower, cheaper priced Teslas. I don't think anyone's really expecting that we're going to have a bad year next year for Tesla. So from a purely tactical perspective, it makes sense to cover on that short position in 2024 versus 2025. And according to recent data that we got, the short interest just jumped a ton. You're now at 2.88% short interest of free float. $37.25 billion sold short in Tesla. This is up 90.1% in 3 months. 3 months ago, you only had $19.59 billion sold short in Tesla. It's almost double from where it was 3 months ago. You now have 80.55 million shares that are sold short. As recently as December 23rd, we were at about 77 million shares sold short. So it looks like about 3.5 million shares or so were sold short in Tesla really over the past week or so. I think a lot of that has had to do with the Fed spooking the markets last week. I think a lot of people rushed into short Tesla because Tesla was the stock that has really done the best over the last couple of months. Now, Tesla options today are really telling the whole story. You have 151 different trades totaling $110 million with a positive order value of 90%. You're 90% positive from hedge fund and institutional option positioning. I mean, yeah, everyone's pretty bullish on Tesla. Volume today, expiring by this Friday, is 63.5% calls and 36.5% puts. So that looks pretty good. And for next Friday's expiration, January 3rd, 2025, you have volume of 62.25% calls, 37.75% puts. So that also looks really good. Tesla has reportedly contracted EVE Energy to supply energy storage batteries from its new factory in Malaysia, which is still under construction. The China-based company will supposedly start supplying Tesla with storage batteries by 2026. And apparently, Elon Musk is the new Ozempic Santa. And Elon Musk posts a video of himself going to the moon. And that is, here you can see, may or may not be alluding to Tesla stock. And in truly remarkable video we are seeing on FSD V13, it's reacting to a high beam flash at a stop sign, signaling the Tesla to go ahead and go first. And it seems like the Tesla has figured out what that means and acted accordingly and went first. Also being reported that FSD 13.2.2 navigates extremely challenging New York City driving. And this is a look at the heat map today for markets, and a lot of stocks are just not doing as well as you would expect, considering we are in the Santa Claus rally period. So Tesla is not the only stock today that is just having an okay day. Not a terrible day, not a great day. Even just in the time of recording this video, 10-year treasury yields have fallen from 4 basis points higher today down to 2.5 basis points higher. So lost about 1.5 basis points. We will see if that could lead to an end of the day rally. Again, I'm bullish on today and Friday. I'm also bullish on Monday and Tuesday of next week. Tactically into year end, there's a lot to be bullish on, and I think we're going to start to see that. Now, sentiment for Tesla over on StockTwits today is bullish at 57. Yesterday, you were bullish at 55. Message volume was low yesterday. Today, it is still low at 43, unchanged, and the participation ratio is high at 56. Google Trends data for Tesla in the United States looks very good. Cybertruck hitting a newer recent high, at least the highest level since November 30th at 54. The Model Y is at 36, which is actually moving down from 37 where we were at last week. The Model 3 continues to rise, rising from 28 to 30. Model S at 14 and the Model X at 12. And overall, very good levels of search trend activity for Tesla. If we look at worldwide search trend data, things are exploding. Cybertruck at 80, a new recent high at least since August. The Model Y at 68, which is up from 61 last week. The Model 3 is at 57, which is up from 53 last week. The Model S at 23 and the Model X at 17. So across the board, you are seeing an acceleration in search trend activity for Tesla. Tesla continues to run about 5,000 different ads with Google, and if we take a look at Tesla's global inventory numbers, they continue to fall with the Model Y at 3,800, the Model 3 at 2,600, Model X at 1,900, and the Model S at now only 1,500 vehicles in inventory. This is a great sign. Tesla's running down inventory instead of overproducing to meet current demand. And the percent of stocks trading above their 50-day moving average is at 36.06%. It seems to be largely unchanged from Tuesday levels, still at a very bearish overall level. And this is part of the reason why I'm so bullish over really the next couple of days in 2024, because I think people are just a little bit too bearish, a little bit too negatively positioned in markets right now. You can also see this reflected with the CNN Fear and Greed Index coming in at 37 today, which is still about midpoint of fear. I mean, yeah, that's pretty damn negative. Market momentum is neutral. Stock price strength, extreme fear. Stock price breadth, extreme fear. Put and call options is neutral. Market volatility, neutral. Safe haven demand in greed, and junk bond demand in fear. The most recent AI investor sentiment survey that came out on Christmas shows bullish investors at 37.8%, which is around the historical average. Okay, historical average is 37.5%. So people are kind of just on our markets right now. On December 4th, 48.3% of investors were bullish. So that's dropped a lot. It's dropped like 11 points or so since early December. And that's another just solidification that we're not overextended in markets. Like the sentiment is not too bearish. If you look at the bear side, historical average for bears is 31.0%. Today, it's 34.1%. So you're more bearish than historically. So mix all of these factors together, and I think it's only right that markets would rally for the Santa Claus trading period, which started on Tuesday and extends until the second day in January, which is technically next Thursday. In the next video, we will talk about Tesla stock a little bit more. And honestly, just one guy's opinion to another, or to another female, if you're a female watching this video, I want to see Tesla fall as much as possible. I'm greedy. I want to buy as many shares as possible. That's kind of it's kind of my rationale. I don't think that is going to happen, though. So rest assured, the most likely path for Tesla is higher at this point. Now, sure, is there going to be volatility? Of course. I think the main level we want to watch for right now is around that 450 mark. But let's be honest. We had good economic data today with the credit card data from MasterCard. Like, that's a great sign. The economy is doing okay. The bond market wants to send yields higher on that. Fine, it's an afterthought. The economy is doing well. That is good news for Tesla. And I do think over the coming days, you will see Tesla go through an even larger rally. And if for whatever reason Tesla stock does not go through a larger rally, then I think that is a buying opportunity. I want to buy any dip that I possibly can in Tesla heading into next year, because I think Tesla could be over $900 per share by the end of next year. Obviously, as long as FSD does well, it's not a flop, as long as the overall business kind of does what Elon guided for, 20 to 30% delivery growth, I think really that AI component of Tesla is going to start to be the most important kind of focal point for Tesla. Even to a certain extent, deliveries may not matter as much next year if it's all about robotaxi. It's all about getting robotaxi launched. That I think would be a positive shift for Tesla, considering the regulatory environment. It's probably going to be a little bit more in line with Tesla's vision for autonomous vehicles. So let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comment section. I should mention, we had initial jobless claims today that came in at 219,000. A little bit lower than expected. We did have continuing jobless claims that came in at 1.91 million, which was the highest level in 3 years, but clearly the markets didn't care about that. They just focused on that retail sales credit card data from MasterCard and said, oh yeah, really strong numbers. Let's send 10-year treasury yields higher, 4 basis points, and let's dump the interest rate sensitive names. That's kind of, long story short, what happened today, but I think it's positive news that people were out spending money, that the economy looks good. And I think that will be reflected in Tesla stock. And perhaps even today is an opportunity to get some positioning into Tesla for that ultimate reality check reversal higher that I think is coming for Tesla. So let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comment section. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.